Hello, I'm Forever Bengals here. I'm going to talk about the other games this week, and I'm going to start out with uh, Cleveland at Jacksonville. Um, Now, I like Cleveland in this. Whether we all want to admit it or not, Cleveland right now is the hottest team in the AFC North. It's a shame that's happened at the end of the season and not earlier, but they have a 3-game winning streak. They'll probably want to end on a 4-game winning streak and just basically end hot, so that way they can try to carry it over into next year. Um, the Jaguars, they have to go to Cleveland and play, and Florida warm weather teams don't do well playing in cold weather. It's not the fact that the players aren't accustomed to it as much as you practice in warm weather and you get used to breathing and doing everything in the warm weather. And when you get into cold weather, everything kind of slows down. So it's more of a system shock and everything that gives the home team in those instances the advantage. Because I'm sure that not everybody that plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars grew up in Florida. I'm sure some of them grew up in different parts of the world, and they even went to college in different parts of the world. However, playing in cold, they practice in warm weather, and then they have to go to cold weather. That's really the only thing with it. So I like Cleveland's chances of playing spoiler and beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, Pittsburgh, you have the toughest game of the week. Really, you have to play the Miami Dolphins in Miami, which Miami, they are they're a dangerous team. They're a threat. They're going to be tough. They're going to be able to. I think they're going to be able to run the ball, and they'll be able to throw the ball, which is going to make it a little bit harder for you. Uh, You also have to play in Miami, so you don't have that cold weather advantage. As a matter of fact, you might get hit with the opposite of it. You practice in the cold weather and then find yourself in warm weather, and now you're like, oh, what, system shock there. So Miami, they have the tools to beat you, especially since you've lost to some of the teams that you've lost to this year. You can't count Miami out. They have what it takes to actually beat you. And it's going to be tough for you. You could do it, but it's going to be tough. Now, Ravens. You guys have an interesting matchup because the Oakland Raiders are kind of up and down. They're up as far as they have the talent, they have the means, they can do it, but are they actually going to play like they can do it? We've seen what they did to Cincinnati, we've seen what they did to Pittsburgh, we've seen what they did to Philadelphia, and what they almost did to San Diego. So they have the tools to be to beat teams. It's just how are those tools going to be utilized, and is that team going to be motivated, and are they really going to want to play spoiler? Those are the questions that you guys should be asking yourselves. And I know you're thinking, oh, it's Oakland, and we're going to beat Oakland, but you can't count them out until the game. That's why we actually play the games, and I don't know exactly what the playoff picture will look like if you lose. I know that it helps Miami getting into the playoffs, but once that happens, if you lose to the Oakland Raiders, I think it becomes anybody's game. I think Denver might actually get in there, or Denver might sneak in, and of course it depends on what happens with the Jets and Cincinnati and the Jets, because they're also one of those win and end type games. So I'm going to say good luck. Stay healthy. Hopefully, you do make it to the postseason. Um, it's just going to be an interesting week this week. I'm going to be watching all the games just and keeping an eye on all the games just to see who who we may have to face if we decide to beat the Jets. So, well, I'm Forever Bengals, and that's my take on this week's games for the AFC North.